That's good to know.
So thank you for giving me opportunity to talk with you and giving me a chance to talk with you.
Yes, of course.
So I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing to my audience.
Yes. Okay, so hey, I'm Francisca. I was born in Ecuador. It's in South America, and I am involved in an online business around Instagram marketing. So, my Instagram journey started because I've always been artistic, creative, um, as a musician, and it sort of like all evolved from the pandemic because I had just returned from a trip to England all year long, and it was the best year of my life. Like I felt so free, so like I explored my potential a lot. And then when I came back to my hometown, I just felt lost. I didn't know what to do. And then I missed, communicating in English because it's a language that I've always been connected to. I can't explain why, but yeah. And so I ended up applying to many things. I didn't get it. I didn't get things because of, visa restrictions and stuff. And so I felt very frustrated for a long time until I found like solace in social media marketing because I joined a community of business owners, and I sort of like felt like they taught me a lot to dream big because well, in my country, being a third world country, there have been lots of limitations, and in spite of me growing up blessed with you know with enough to invest in education and stuff, I just didn't find myself a lot. And so I had to go like against the current. I had to put myself out there a lot on Facebook, posting my personal profile, and then on Instagram being consistent, and then uh, you know, learning like all business stuff from scratch, learning like about marketing from scratch because I did an internship distance with a London company. And so I feel like I've really put myself out there, and what happens is that I overcame a lot of discomfort, and I feel that that is one of the main keys and main things for visibility is just to get past discomfort and to know that if you put yourself out there enough, there comes a time where the right people will resonate with you, and just magical things and big things will start happen, no matter where you come from.
So your name?
Francisca.
So you are from?
Sorry.
You're from?
I am from Ecuador, so I was born in Ecuador, but I lived in England for a year, and I work a lot with international clients, especially from London, which is why you'll see London on the tag there for geotagging purposes. But then I'm living here, and I'm planning to live abroad. But again, you never know with the pandemic. The pandemic is so unpredictable that it's best to live day by day.
So you are into social media marketing and you are into internet from long time.
Yes. So, well, not necessarily long time. And this is one of the key things that I wanted to explain, especially, for people, because you're going to be sharing this on YouTube, you said, but I'm going to be sharing this as well for entrepreneurs out here in my city. Because, here you're like sort of educated to, study for many years and not getting to the real world. And that's what happened to me when I started my first academic endeavors, which was on translation and interpreting. And I studied it, and I just studied it, and I didn't feel like I got real practice from the real world. But it was also because I was scared to put myself out there, and so I actually began using Instagram for business not too long ago. I started using it probably it's like 2 years now, almost 2 years. But the thing about me is that I really put my soul and passion into it, and I'm like I really connected it to a purpose. And so that made me keep going in spite of like um, being with people that have been in years and years. Because the thing is that you can be years and years, but if you don't work smart enough, or you don't put yourself out there, and you don't believe in a cause, then you're never really gonna uh, get anywhere. So I don't think the time matters. I think it's the implementation and caring about your business and believing that you will push this forward in spite of many limitations that may arise.
So visibility strategist, what it means and what you do exactly.
Okay, so basically, I'm taking now one-on-one calls, especially for creatives, because the thing about creatives is that sometimes we can be all over the place. I'm multi-passionate, and sometimes we just struggle with being focused. All my life I've been doing different things since I was a little girl. Like, I did swimming, and then I did chess, and then I studied languages, and I did, like, I really didn't know what to do with my life, to be honest. Yeah. So there came a time where I remember this exactly, like when I was 15. Actually, I remember so clearly. Um, my school pushing me to choose something. So we, like, generally, if you love maths, you go to this, and then if you love, like, science, you go to this. The problem with me is that I loved many things, and I was good at many things, and I don't think society is prepared to cater those kinds of people, because as me, I struggled as a teen, and I didn't find myself in the world. I struggled a lot with depression, anxiety, and so because of that, I didn't actually know my actual purpose. And coming with the fact that as an artistic and as a musician, it's like you were conditioned to study something for society, then to tell, no, you cannot do this, and not supporting it. So it's like I was going through something and I didn't know what. And so it has taken me many years until I really can say, oh my God, this is why I'm doing this, and really putting a lot of mindset work into it, which is the base. And so visibility is about, confidence and believing your purpose and gaining clarity on why you're doing the stuff you're doing, and having resilience, in spite of, difficulties. Again, I had limiting beliefs around, okay, I'm from here, so I cannot work with international clients, or, I'm from, I don't know, like, I have visa restrictions, so I cannot enter ever again. But the thing is that you're already putting limiting conditions in yourself if you think that way. You are interviewing clients from all over the world, which I admire so much. You're from India. You're from India, and so we are kind of like seen as small sometimes. When I went to when I went to do my master's in England, I was considered as exotic, let's say, because it was very surprising for them that, I came from such a small country, um, and a country that doesn't really support entrepreneurial endeavors, and now it's coming to accept them. But I feel like I'm breaking the mold, and sometimes that can be a very lonely road. So again, purpose, clarity, resilience, those are key factors, and just believing in yourself, and putting something out there and making tweaks along the way, but really not waiting for it to be perfect, because it never will be.
So tell me about influence, social media influences, and tell me about the influence that happens in internet.
So right now, like, really, the world is booming in social media marketing, and there are many discussions, especially from, like, older generations, that they say that it's, damaging, that it's bad, that people spend on it all day. But the thing is that I think it depends the intention and the purpose that you put into it. Because in my case, for example, one of my rules is create, not consume. You don't have to follow everyone. You don't have to consume information from everyone, and you have to, like, really put intentions in what you're doing. So again, if my purpose is, helping creatives and freelancers gain confidence and monetize Instagram, and so I keep it focused, while at the same time engaging and interacting, but knowing that I have to put time into it. So that's what keeps me going, because social media can be overwhelming for sure. And it can be discouraging if you think, okay, there are a lot of, like, people doing this, why am I doing this? But the thing is that you are the differentiating factor, and if you want to achieve something, then you're going to have to sort of, like, get uncomfortable with the fact that, yeah, you do have to push at first a lot until you gain more visibility, because it will happen. And the only reason why it won't happen is if you say this is too much work, I cannot do this, or this is just not possible. And believe me, I had to deal with a lot of criticism and thoughts from people, close to me, friends and family and stuff like that. And the only thing that it gave me, yes, it made me sad at first when I was participating in live streaming, artistic live streaming, and they said like, what is that? They didn't understand. But in spite of that, I kept going, and that is the key, to really believe in your dreams and believe in your, the state that has been planted in you, to just keep going. Because the people that don't believe in you, maybe they're not seeing tangible results, but there comes a time when you work hard and you work harder, work smarter more than harder, that they will see results. And there comes a time, well, they won't have any option to just support you, because they won't have, because they will see you that you're happy. So
So visibility is one of the important things for a human being. So what do you understand about it, and what do you think that works in visible things?
well, first of all, you want to become visible because it is essential now for business, right? Because if you get lost in the sea of competition, you won't get noticed. And especially now that Instagram is booming, uh, the major limiting belief that can happen for you is, okay, it's too late to join because there are already many people out there. But I'm pretty sure that big names out there now thought the same when they started, because Instagram is not like it's just starting now. It started a long time ago. But again, if you're smart enough and if you invest in the right things, because you have to invest and believe in your education, and you have to invest and believe in yourself. Like I remember that when I invested in a coach, and it was actually expensive for me, but I believe that this was the key to move forwards. So for example, I prioritized that instead of, like, I don't know, buying lots of clothes or something. So I always like prioritize education and food. Education and food instead of like clothing, and there's nothing wrong with clothing, but you have to know that, for example, the time of this person will give me more in return, and the accountability that this person will, you know, push me towards. That is why coaching businesses are booming so much right now, because people want community, and they want support, and they want something to make them accountable and make them believe in themselves. Because social media is a crowded world, and it can be overwhelming. So you need people there for you, kicking your ass to just do the work. And I'm one of them.
So tell me about content creation.
Okay, so oh, content creation is my favorite thing ever. I just felt like I now believe, why wasn't I doing that before? And again, I think that I wasn't doing that before because I was scared, and I had a lot of mindset blocks that I had to tackle first. And it's just perfect, because the way I see it is that I have a background in communication because I studied translation, and so I've done a lot of copywriting for many accounts for some time now. And the thing with it is that it's a perfect combination between like writing and also creativity, because you are creating something from scratch, just as you would create if you were a singer songwriter, if you were like a pianist, which I also was for many years. So it all just comes together, you know and I think you have to look at it more as sort of like something that will contribute you to grow your business, and making profits and growth, than just, oh, I'm just doing this because I'm just goofing around and I'm an influencer. Because I've had that, people sometimes judge influencers, and they think, oh my god, they're not doing anything, what is that? And the truth is that they are, because not everyone can do that, and it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there. You have to overcome many things. You have to put in a lot of mindset work, and you have to show up even if you don't want to. I mean, you're gonna want to, but there are days where you're not gonna want to. Maybe you don't have enough energy, but you've made a commitment. So and again, you believe in what you're doing. So I think that it takes a lot of courage, and people should respect that industry and should respect, because they're contributing to economy anyway. So whenever I see those thoughts of like, what are you like goofing around or stuff like that, I just don't agree with that.
Expressing to impress or expressing just because I just want to express. So which one do you think that works?
Sorry.
Expressing to impress or expressing because I just want to express on social media, on Instagram. So which one do you think works? And
I'm sorry. I just it was there was an audio here, so I'm sorry. It didn't let me listen. So it was expressing interest and
expressing to impress the people who are watching, or expressing only because I just want to express. Which one will work?
oh, okay, okay. So this is a very good question. I loved it. So I'm thinking there has to be a combination of both, because you're really creating content because you want to impact and you want to inspire and you want to educate the audience. And so all those elements come together, but you're not really going to do that unless you gain clarity of why you're doing this. Because if you create content for a long time and you don't have a purpose, there comes a time where you're just going to burn out and you're going to be overwhelmed, and you're going to not going to put the effort. And so I think there has to be a balance between, I want to impact, but at the same time, um, I do want to, make them learn something and come to me because I'm putting that content out there. I don't know if that answers the question or.
Yeah, I got you. So text, audio, or video, which one is going to create more impact?
Well, now video is a trend, so video is always, the faster way, to create emotional connection now. And but I think in social media you always want to diversify, because especially if you're on Instagram is not the most searchable platform, so you want to make sure that you have your system there. Like, for example, I have IGTVs that I've done, so I'm embedding them as a podcast, and with so many tools now, you really cannot afford not to show up in many ways. You can like turn something into seconds. And again, the only reason why you wouldn't do that is because you're afraid. Because for a long time before I appeared in stories, like now I can appear in stories, just like that, speaking spontaneously, because I've gained clarity of what I want to do. But before, when I was still like, working out of things, studying a lot of things, like just hustling, going around and around, I was fearful, I was still fearful. And so it just builds up over time. But again, the first thing that you have to fix is your mindset, and that could be done with like little things, from listening to podcasts like this one. For example, I'm pretty sure that this message would resonate with tons of people, and tons of people will want to hear this, because tons of people had to shift their businesses from like physical stores to online, and many of them are overwhelmed and they're not tech savvy and they don't know what to do. And for example, I was working with a team, and one of the team members, he was older, and so I just realized how overwhelming that was for him. And the thing is that sometimes you have to adapt to certain things to make something work. um, for example, because I work with creatives, I've noticed that they have many things that they want to express. But because Instagram is sort of like categorizes content and pushes like more niche down content, then what I suggest is, um, yes, focus on one overarching topic and then separate it into content pillars, but stick with it. And also, you can always add your personality. Instagram is just amazing because you can just be yourself. You can be yourself. I mean, yes, it takes consistency, but everything that's worth it takes consistency.
So why not? Why still not? The entire world is not on internet, and why still people are not able to come and uh, be present in online?
Well, I think because there's a huge learning curve for many people out there. For me, I always loved tech, since I was a little girl. And even though I didn't use like proper mobile until I was 18, because believe it or not, I'm 28 now. And but I remember like at 5 years old already like using computer and enjoying making slides and lots of things. Like for me, all those tools are so fun, and like for me, it's just like a game. I just love it so much. And I'm not gonna lie, there have been times where I've been overwhelmed, and for example, there was a time where I couldn't even like use it on the weekends because I I worked throughout the week. And then what happened was that on the weekend, I just wanted to throw away the cell phone, didn't want to look at it anymore, and I had to engage in team member meetings and all of that. But then again, I mean, with a crowded competition, there's no way that you could stand out without, again, putting some effort into just becoming visible through the right strategy. And I think that if you have a strong enough message, a strong enough message, and you form yourself right. I mean, there are tons of communities out there that are there to support you and are there to not make you feel alone. And I'm actually preparing my own, around Instagram and mindset. And so I'm sure I'll spread the word when he's out. I'm still preparing it, but I'm really excited about this because a community for me changed my whole world. Because when I came here, I felt just so out of place. And then finding a community that actually made me dream bigger and made me push myself and sparked ideas for content and just did so many things. And like the contacts that I have now just by being in a community that's like high quality, it's amazing. Because I don't think I would have ever been in touch with, or being confident enough to be in touch with, people that have been in like off Broadway stages, or TED speakers and stuff like that. I don't think I would have ever had that confident if I wouldn't have a system that believed in me when many people here in my country didn't.
So how to express, how to put a thought on Instagram, and what are the ways to put our feelings and emotions and thoughts, ideas on Instagram?
Well, there's a part that I love, that when I was starting business in my membership setup that I'm in, I fell in love with this, and it's a concept that's called storytelling. And storytelling is something that not many people apply in business, and it's a huge differentiating factor. Because I tell my clients that, like among a sea and like crowds of like raving fans, your story is always going to be the differentiating factor. Because for example, me, when I have bought something from someone, um, what makes me want to work with them is their story as well. And of course, then, the expertise just impacts me, and I'm like, okay, this is totally worth it. But again, there are many people that know many things, and there are a lot of stuff in the internet out there. But people will pay actually for access to you and access to gain more knowledge and get to interact with you, because it's amazing how interactions can change day-to-day life. And growth by association is also something that is real. And so it gives you more confidence, like whenever you can, just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Of course, uh, again, I don't like spammy behavior at all. I don't think that you should call DM or sell things before establishing contact. Like what happened, for example, with a client of mine was that because I was very consistent and I was putting high quality content out there, then he just there was a time where he booked a like the link, but that didn't happen in like one day. That happened, after a few weeks, and with a following of under 500 people. And so again, it's about being persistent and showing that you care, because many people in the online world, they just want to like make fast money, and they don't have a purpose related to it, and they just don't go deep enough. So that is, you have to find like the gap. In I found that a lot of Instagram experts and all, they don't talk about mindset at all. They talk about strategy. I don't know if you've realized that, but you talk about a lot of strategies. They talk about a lot of like do this, do this, do this, but you cannot really do that unless you believe in yourself. because that's what happened to me when I had already worked with a lot of clients for free, to hone my skills and everything. And I didn't put my testimonials out there because I was afraid of, like, fear of responsibility, fear of success, which is something that happens a lot in my country because we're a collective society, and sometimes we fall a lot into the overprotection side of things. So it's a huge learning curve, but it's completely worth it. Like, it is the best thing that you can do is share your story with the world, because they will resonate. And if you connect it with your expertise and your values and stuff, then I don't see why your business won't work. I mean, the only thing that why it wouldn't work is, again, if you don't put yourself out there enough, if you don't work, I would say hard enough, but also smart. And if you just believe in yourself, in spite of, maybe your dad can say something, your sister can say something, everyone can say something, but it just doesn't have to stop you at all.
Tell me about Instagram monetization.
Yeah, so okay. So Instagram monetization, well, is actually, it's all built up in connections, because while it's true that the more that you have a following, the more you have eyeballs on your account. But what happens is that many people just focus on the numbers, and for example, they get lots of people, they even pay agencies to sort of um, grow their accounts. But what happens is that the agencies don't really know your story, they don't know who your ideal client is, and so they start um, like following accounts to get them to follow back. I mean, they have these strategies, and I've seen that, where, okay, you may grow in numbers, but what is the deal if they're not going to interact with your content? So the base is super super important, even if you have, like, at the moment, I'm going to be completely transparent, I have less than 500 followers, but they're super engaged, already have leads coming in, and it is because I take my time to interact and understand what content is trending, and also getting inspiration from other creators, because the truth is, as creatives, there's not going to be a thing that's 100% original anymore, and that doesn't make you a copycat. That just makes you something that understands what works in the market and what is trending. And you just have to, like, take it, and obviously not copy, never copy. If you take content from other creator, always, ask permission to share it, credit it, which is something that I don't see many accounts doing. And again, I mean, you just want to, like, investigate what works, but then obviously put something out there that you have already tested, because what happens is that, as Sunny Lenarduzzi, which is one of my favorite entrepreneurs out there. She has a business built around YouTube. And the other day, she featured me in a YouTube video, and I went crazy. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. So hi, Sunny. She sees it. But anyway, so what she always says is that, your story is the differentiating factor, and whatever is out there, it's probably already been created. But if you already, it's like you have a roadmap. It's like you have a roadmap. Like, if you see, like, one of the mistakes that I made when I was younger, it was like, I chose something that I wasn't completely 100% sure. And again, you're never going to be 100% sure about anything, I think. But I chose something that I'm like, okay, there's not enough market here, so okay, I'm gonna start it. What ended up happening was that there was not enough demand, and there was not enough demand, and there was not enough, like, the service wasn't there. I mean, there were a lot of things that I hadn't considered because I wasn't at the entrepreneurial business mindset that I have now. So I think it's like it's a whole journey.
Tell me about your core values and your story.
Oh, my
You already
story?
said your story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my core values, one of, like, the phrase that I always live by every day of my life is starting before you're ready. Because when I got into the field of translation and interpreting, and when I studied it, um, I studied it for many years, and then I did a master's, and this all helped me to obviously communicate better internationally and everything. And so I did that. And keep in mind, I had studied it for several years. I even have a master's on it, and I never felt completely ready. I never felt completely ready. And so I just didn't feel completely 100% satisfied with it. I felt like it was something that I did well and that I like, but I don't. But I just there was something else calling out to me, like some like bigger dreams and some like bigger things of like that can impact lots of people. And so in translation, while I do that, and I don't say no. I mean I don't say no to obviously to projects. I prioritize, but I mean like whenever you're starting, there are a lot of entrepreneurs have to do as well work to get them through like investing in things. And so I just realized that it was some activity that was putting me into a comfortable zone, and I prefer like diving into something else, which is why I started this Instagram journey, and I really used it to get over a lot of fears that I had, like lots of fears. And so yeah, it's one of my things is starting before you're ready. Like I got into the membership site of business owner that I love. I'm in her community, Desto Breva. She's a branding expert. She's amazing. And I remember that I entered that. It was a challenge. I remember that I entered it because um, it was about content creation. And by that point, I was, creating content for my, artistic account. And then time went by and I realized, okay, I have realized that I'm really, really consistent in this. And I don't think I have ever been that consistent in my life with anything else than just expressing my opinions and creating content. So I figured that that was a sign. And then with that and a book that I read of Marie Forleo, Everything's Figure Outable, uh, when I had the chance, I actually applied for a summit that was called Entrepreneurs. And I didn't feel ready at all, but I just realized that in spite of having studied the other thing for many years, I didn't feel ready. So I'm like, okay, I have this, I have studied this, I have, yeah, I don't have a degree in marketing, but I did an internship on digital marketing. I did implement that, and I do study implement things every day, and that's what people want, you know. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk. I have enough knowledge. I know this, and I just did it. And there were like tech speakers with me. There were people that I have worked with, like in LA, like with Rihanna and Justin Timberlake. I'm like, what is going on? What am I doing here? But I did it anyway, and that is what's lacking, because there's never gonna be a perfect time, and you're just gonna um, do things if you and learn the best things if you fail, you know. And social media is all about A/B testing. And when you put a post out there when you're first starting and seeing which content performs best, you really have to be resilient and having a plan, and just again coming back to why am I doing this. And if you know the why, then you're going to just continue doing stuff, actions, and action will bring more confidence. Yeah.
So tell me about lead magnet.
My lead magnet?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I wrote to you and said that it's gonna be ready, and as soon as it's ready, I'm gonna put it in the YouTube account because I had some things with like graphic designer, and so I'm still setting things up, but I'm so excited. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm gonna spread it like fire because it's something that's gonna help a lot of people, take action. And there are 109 bulletproof CTAs that have been, tested in the industry and everything. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also having a video of my summit entrepreneurs there. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited, and really excited to share, my expertise and bring my story and help a lot of people and also, grow business to contribute and cause impact. And just to inspire a lot of entrepreneurs that maybe feel small and feel not seen, you know, and and I'm yeah. So it's gonna be. As soon as I have the link, I'll send it to you for sure.
So, as a visibility strategist, so what do you think that works in order to in order to establish connection between you and the person who is observing with his or her eyes?
You mean like a potential client?
No, generally, what do you think that works in order to draw the attention of the person who is just scrolling the Instagram feeds or reels or seeing the content on the internet? So, what do you think that draws the attention?
I think the main thing that draws attention really is high quality content. Because if they see high quality content, I have like now studied several accounts, and the common factor that I see is that they put a lot of effort and a lot of creativity on their content. And so it's about, again, putting something so good out there that they will have no other choice than come to you for that, and just studying like the differentiating factors between other accounts, like I said, for example, not a lot of Instagram strategies put a lot of storytelling or a lot of um, like mindset things. And for me, that is part of my story, because as someone that battled with depression, anxiety, and someone that procrastinated for a long time because of fears and feelings of discomfort, I think that putting that as a content, even if it can be, because the thing is that if you put, it is better to, like, niching down is the key. But to be honest, I wouldn't remove content on my mindset there, even if it's as lower growth, because I just want that to be the base of like my community, and it's what will cause maximum growth and impact, as opposed to just putting like a lot of educational carousels that I see a lot of accounts doing, and that they're doing an amazing job, and I learn from them all the time. Because as you know, like as an entrepreneur, you're never going to be a, like 100% expert, I say, because there are always things to learn every day, especially in the social media marketing world. You have different trends. You have like, okay, no, it's not this hashtags anymore, it's now like this number of hashtags, and things change every day, and it's fast moving, which is why you have to build a lot of resilience. And you really want to, like, if you want to get more leads, and if you want to have then more security, and dive into this amazing world, you just have to, again, believe in yourself. That's like the main key, and attract people with high quality content.
Is it important for a person to change himself in order to create impact on social media?
No, I don't think you should change yourself at all. I do feel that you should keep your content focused, like I said at the beginning. I'm an artist, so I make sure that I bring my personality into it, and that when I copyright, I embed certain like notes of like artists and stuff, or like memes related to artistry. Like, for example, the other day I did a meme post that got a lot of good reactions, and it was it was some it was Ariana Grande, sort of like when it happened that she was scared because there was a model walking and she had this face. So again, it's some sort of like content that brings value as well as entertainment. And so it's, I mean, I could have posted any other thing related to business, but I posted something related to an artist, while at the same time speaking about how there are many, many, many accounts that have a big following, but they probably bought followers or something because they don't have any comments, and so it's you don't have to change, but you do have to have a focus, because otherwise um, you will struggle into, let's say, getting like leads and clients, because then people won't know what to do. Confused people don't buy. So you have to like keep yourself in mind. But again, for me, it was a bit uncomfortable, because as a multi-passionate person, I had to like study several months and analyze several things to finally say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stick to it while maintaining my personality. And this is a whole road. You're probably gonna, business owners probably want to quit every day, to be honest, because it's so demanding, until you get into a point where you get more stability, and it takes one person to believe in you as well. Like, it takes one try, and if it works, it just keeps up the momentum going, and it's just like that. But we're not robots, we're humans, so we're bound to have falls and struggles along the way.
So tell me about fast growth,
Sorry.
growing faster.
Okay, growing faster. Well, to be honest, I don't believe in like growing fast. Yeah, it can be done, but for example, I believe that virality is something that you shouldn't like lose your sleep over, because yeah, again, when you start creating high quality content, that will come on its own. But if, for example, if you're there weeks, right, creating content, and you don't see something go viral, that if you have that mindset and like, okay, every post has to go viral, and it doesn't, you're gonna want to quit. And you're gonna want to quit when maybe you were in the fence of converting a client because you've been consistent. So I think the main thing is to hope for building great connections instead of actually expecting every post to go viral. But to grow faster, I do recommend, not only using Instagram, because Instagram is amazing, has a lot of features, but it's not the most searchable platform. So I do recommend strongly to start small, posting consistent, maybe 3 times a week, whatever you can commit to. Maybe one is small, but 3 times a week, and respecting also the format, your brand, and also again using, for example, Facebook. Like I bring followers from my Facebook as well, from my Facebook profile as well, because there are many people there as well that if they're on Facebook, I can convert to clients and increase their brand awareness on Instagram. So on Facebook, and then I'm starting a YouTube channel as well, because YouTube is much more searchable. And but it all goes in stages. Like I don't believe in that thing of like, okay, you start here and then you start everywhere, because then you're gonna be overwhelm yourself. So again, you have to be patient, and you have to, um, again, gain clarity, and not believing in like, okay, I'm just gonna grow like 1,000 followers like the next day, because yeah, there are many accounts that do that, but are they actually quality followers? And again, it evolves. You just want to start before you're ready and not put any hold into something. But yeah, with growth, it's about analyzing also the reach, which hashtags you're using, making sure that you connect with people, because if you connect with someone, then the followers are suggested in a profile, and you just they see, oh my god, she's there, she's consistent. So for example, I have been interacting with like big accounts. I'm talking about like accounts with more than 100,000 followers, and because I've been there, I've engaged with their content. Now I've messaged them, of course, caring first about their account, and complimenting their amazing work, and then saying, yeah, and then like pitching maybe a call off post and everything, and what they say was yes. And that's a great opportunity for visibility, because when you apply, you put something out there, and brand by association, like brand awareness by association, is really strong. So you call up in with an influencer in the industry, and because you have similar audiences, yes, there are many that will work with that person, but there are many that will resonate with you because of your story. So that's another thing. Like I think booming like high quality content and carousels and reels and network are the best strategies that you can do now to actually like be on the right track, which is a song that I have, by the way. I can also embed that I have a song called The Right Track.
So do you want to share anything of yours with my audience?
Yes. So if you have resonated with all of this and you really feel overwhelmed, and you need something to believe in you or keep you accountable, because yeah, there is a lot of information out there, but you want to make sure that you work with a person that has walked the walk and that really cares about the content you're putting out there. And again, a person that's completely transparent, because I could have like 10,000 followers but zero engagement, because again, what I've noticed is that many people see numbers, but that doesn't mean that I don't have an expertise at some level, and some level that I can help you. So again, we can embed the link for I have a free call ignition session, and so I'm going to embed it there so that we can see with the right feed. I can help you, and you can increase your brand awareness and set up for success. I'm also crafting a program that is called Sing. I'm saying the name out loud for the first time. Actually, I have like shared it with some people like exclusive. It's called Sing Your Way to Success. So it tells like a framework to first set up your Instagram for success. And so that is gonna be it's gonna be amazing. I'm still crafting it. I'm still tweaking a lot of stuff. But again, don't hesitate to contact me. And I hope that you'll benefit from this. I'm surely adding this to my podcast if I have your permission.
Sure, you can do that. So I'll put
Yeah.
if you send your links, web links of yours, I'll put in the
Yeah.
description of this video. People who
Yeah,
find
for
the
sure.
video on YouTube can
Yeah.
see the work that you're doing and can use the services that you're providing. At the same time, they can follow you and they can see what they
Thank
can
you. That
learn
was
from you, I'm
amazing.
sure.
And
Yeah.
again, if you're not ready at that level yet, because sometimes one is not ready for several reasons, you can also benefit if it's not a session right now with me. You can also benefit a lot from my put a lot of content on free content on Instagram and Facebook, and as well, I'm preparing the resource, so it's going to be in the link in bio pretty soon. So make sure you check it out.
Awesome. So at last, have you seen as a visibility strategist? So what do you say about my visibility on internet? Have you seen any? Have you seen my content? My my complete
Yes,
content on
have.
internet. What
I
do you
have.
say
I think
about
it's
it?
amazing. I think that it's amazing that you're putting yourself out there for sure. I think that there has to be some things that have to be tweaked around hashtag strategy, and also probably the fact that there needs to be more interactions. So probably putting a cover there so that people know exactly which topic. What I do when I put out reels out there is that I make sure that the cover knows exactly what they're doing, because if people visit your profile, they know like the topic and the title that is in there. So I will obviously make sure of that. I will make sure that you state clearly, because you are changing the world here by bringing lots of interviews. You're doing something very special. And so you want to make sure that you're aware of that and you share your story as well. By the way, before you go, why did you start this? Now I'm going to be the interviewer.
Yeah, you can ask me questions.
Yeah, just that, and then we have to like continue your day. But why did you start this, for example?
Yeah, sure. If you have, you can ask me. I'll tell you.
Yeah, for sure. So why did you start it? I mean,
Where did I start? So I started this in last year. Last year in
yeah.
this, I think June or July. I did
Yeah.
masters in software engineering and I did graduation in
Oh,
computer science and engineering. So I'm a content writer.
amazing.
I have my personal website since last 5 years. I'm on internet very actively since last 10
Wow.
years. So
Wow. I admire that. I
yeah,
admire that.
I observe a lot on internet. I any reason I'm everywhere. Like I'm into writing. I'm into podcast. I speak. People can hear me through podcast. People can see the words of mine with my website, and I wanted to be on video platforms. So I started in last year. So my first online presence with the visual was started last year. So I did like more than 500 plus interviews who are uh, people from I- uh, people from all the professions: police officer, army officers, book authors. Just now I took a video. Just now before this interview, I took an interview of uh, of a company. Uh, a person who works in a company and he he's representing his company. That company said him to give interview to me, and that company is in United States, and company name is Monet Sensors. It is like $3 trillion company. So just now I completed that interview. So like that I
Amazing.
did.
Amazing things happen when you become visible. That's for sure. When you really believe in yourself, and I admire that, and I'm proud of you, and I admire that. It just things happen, because you could have said, because I don't know. Well, for sure we're aware of this, but again, the paying rates on our countries, like India, Ecuador, are not the same as countries in the U.S. and UK, and I so admire that because sometimes people they just have money mindset blocks that again I had to overcome. This is a whole other topic that we can like discuss about this another time. I would love to, but I so admire that you have like removed those limiting beliefs and you have put yourself out there and use your skills and communication to sort of like change the world, because it takes like one person to show up and speak about something to really, you know, again, put a seed out there to the world. So it's great. And how did you find me, by the way? To close up the
It's a random search. I was like searching, it was like suddenly popped up your profile. So I saw your profile, very interesting, and it was very unique and very neat, and I really felt very connected. And I saw every post of yours. It was amazing. It looks very professional. So I love putting those professionals, on my channel, on my medium, so that it
you.
actually adds value to my content. So your presence is really valuable for me. It's not just an
Thank
interview, it's a
you.
valuable thing. So after this
I
interview, I'm
appreciate a
sure I'm going to get a lot of interviews because of you.
lot. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. And for people out there, I think we have had to like postpone this twice because I what happened was that I was in another business partnership, and I really wanted to focus a lot of my passion and expertise on my personal brand. The other thing was a little bit draining. I had to separate for a while because Ty here, I had to like I think cancel. I don't know if it was like twice or three times by now, so I really deeply apologize. But you never know. Like life happens as a small business owner. Sometimes you have to just run around. But thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to connect with you further.
Yeah, can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yeah, of course. Put it everywhere. Like honestly, put it everywhere, and I'll send you the links.
Yeah, and also, yeah, that's what my next question. Can I put this video and audio clip on my podcast, website, social media, internet, everywhere with your permission?
Right, of course. Yeah, yeah. Do it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks again for giving me
Awesome.
your valuable time.
Yeah, of course.
Bye.
Bye.